For more on the Republican National Convention, I'm joined by George Ajjan, an international political consultant and Republican Party strategist. George, I want to get your take, your expectations for the president's speech tonight, the impact he hopes to make. We've seen him sort of pop through every night this week, but what is different about tonight, and what do you hope to hear?
Well, first of all, glad to be with you as always. I think what he's got to do is a bit of resetting of expectations. We've seen some excerpts from his speech that have already been released. We know he's going to attack in his typical way. And most of this convention, in fact, the Democrats' convention, they were pretty much pro forma, especially without the drama of actually having people there. Till now, we haven't seen anything that has defied expectations. What he needs to do is remind people who voted for him last time and who are on the fence about voting for him this time, what about his original campaign of Make America Great Again still holds true. And so it's very difficult in these conditions with COVID-19 to run a normal campaign, as we've seen. And so for the idea of people feeling that America's great, when you have to make an appointment to go to church, for example, on Sunday, people don't feel that America's great. What he's got to do is he's got to pull people back and remind them how he made America great, as he promised in his campaign. And he's got to look forward to his second term and promise them something that he's going to do to give confidence in them. So he's got to reassure them that he's got a solution for COVID-19, that in a few months this is going to be forgotten. We're going to be on the road to economic recovery in a real way, not in the usual platitudes of attacking and using that just as a campaign trick. He's got to come up with something substantial.
So really, in effect, convincing voters who went for him last time to stay with him. What about voters who may still be undecided? I mean, could this speech change some minds, sway some people here?
It's got to. I mean, that goes without saying. I think that there's two additional problems that the Republicans had with the expectations that they set for their own base. I mean, conventions are largely geared toward the base. Number one is that this whole Sleepy Joe narrative, I thought, was a mistake for the Republicans, because they set up Joe Biden as if he's this incompetent, senile person, and when he finally showed up to launch Kamala Harris as his running mate, and he showed up to deliver his speech at the convention, that doesn't seem to be the case. He's very much alive and well and kicking. And the second mistake was this idea that, well, in 2016, the polls showed us down. At this point in the race in 2016, Trump, yes, he was down 3 points in the polls. He's currently down 8 points in the polls. Now, he has recovered a couple points, but this is incorrectly setting expectations for his base. That's why it's important that, of course, he's got to reach out to people who are undecided, but people want to feel they're part of the winning team, and people who were with him last time but feel like, you know what, he may not win this time, maybe it's not worth going all in for him. He's got to reassure those people tonight.
And, you know, George, this convention is happening amid this Hurricane Laura that came ashore overnight down in the south, and we also have these protests in Wisconsin, a big march planned for Washington, D.C. tomorrow. What kind of impact is that having on Republicans this week, and are they paying enough attention to what's happening outside of this region here?
I would say they are, judging by the coverage. There's been a lot of coverage on the hurricane, and that's actually, despite the fact that many people are suffering in a natural disaster like that, it's a good opportunity for him to show leadership if he gets it right. I think a lot of what he's got to do is set the right tone. I mean, if you look at the way his family tributes laid him up during the convention, they really set him up for success. I think he's got to show a bit of his more compassionate, softer side tonight. We know that he's going to come out attacking Joe Biden, but he's got to come out and show people that he cares, that he can be a compassionate president, and he's got to appeal to that sense that he's able to take care of the people, particularly with respect to COVID-19.
And, you know, with convention momentum, if there is some after today, there's still quite a bit of time between now and Election Day. What more needs to happen between now and then? What do you think will happen?
Well, there's a lifetime between it, several lifetimes between now and the election, and that we don't have a debate until another month's time. I think the first debate is for September 29th. The problem that Trump has is that this is largely a referendum on him. Yes, there's not too many people too excited about Joe Biden, but frankly, they don't have to be in this kind of climate. The advantage that Biden has going for him is that Trump's approval rating is upside down. So Biden is the anyone but Trump that some people will vote for. And Biden is harder for independents that you mentioned earlier to hate. There was hatred for Hillary Clinton. There was hatred for Barack Obama. There's not the same hatred for Joe Biden, and that's problematic for Trump.
George Ajjan, great insight. Thank you so much for talking with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.